Welcome to the Transport Manager Coach podcast, a space where we share real stories, practical lessons and inspiring conversations from the world of transport and logistics. I'm Darren Mathias, and every week we sit down with transport managers, auditors, consultants and entrepreneurs who are out there making an impact, keeping fleets safe, business compliant and the industry moving forward. Our goal with the show is simple: to give you insights, tools, encouragement to grow in your role, build your business, and step into the best version of yourself as a leader in transport. Let's dive in. Hi, everyone. I've got tonight Chris Shelford with us from EOS. Chris, welcome. How are you?
Thank you, Leo. I'm really good. Looking forward to this. It's been a long time coming that someone's got the foresight that you guys have got, and I'm just looking forward to jumping on board, to be honest with you.
Well, that's great news. We really are excited with this partnership and how it will grow and flourish in the future. Just for our listeners' benefit, can you introduce yourself and tell us who are EOS and what is your role there?
Yeah, of course. EOS Training is a producer of Transport Manager CPC course material, and it's been around for 30 odd years, I think, in one way, shape or form. EOS is, I'm trying to think how to word it. I suppose we cut through the jargon of the legal side and we put it into conducive terms so that people can understand it. Trainers, when they're delivering it, can get the right points across so that the learners actually understand the law through looking at it through a different pair of glasses, so to speak. I think that's one of the only ways of saying it, Leo. And since EOS has been about, it's looked after thousands of learners, and we've just sort of dragged it kicking and screaming into the current age by really concentrating on continuing professional development and different learning styles. And that's where we are now, Leo.
Oh, excellent. I think it's actually your products that I used when I did my Transport Manager CPC. I think it's through Wallace School of Transport.
Yeah, makes sense.
But like you say, it can be a daunting task when they first drop that lever arch binder on your desk when you turn up on day one, and you've got just over a week to learn everything in there. But that's what's great. How you talk there about the CPD, the continual sort of support you get once you pass that, or even because it is quite a difficult course and an exam to pass if you don't actually get your head down and study. So the help you provide to get through the exam and then to actually use the knowledge out there in the real world afterwards is a great benefit to people. That's wicked.
Definitely is. I mean, as I say, with when someone sits down at that desk in the learning environment and day one, the shock that sets in is scary. But I mean, luckily enough, there's so many of these really good Transport Manager CPC trainers that are out there that have done the job these guys are trying to get qualified to do. But when they see the material, they panic. And once the shock subsides, they just start working with the trainers. And the trainers, as I say, deliver it in such a good way that these students learn it. But I mean, classroom learning is really invaluable, but students are required to do a lot of homework. So they've really got to understand the material away from that classroom environment. And when they go back in to go over the homework, not feel like they've completely misunderstood it and come up with the wrong stuff. So it's trying to make the material enough to give them confidence that they're getting it right. So that's why we put examples of questions. They're not actual questions, but they're just examples of questions that they could possibly see on the day. So we're just trying to put them in that mindset so they know what they've got to do, Leo. That's the main thing.
Yeah, no, it was trying to think back to my experience, but I know what you're saying there, that daunting feeling of the first day of coming into the classroom. But like you say, that classroom setting is invaluable, because if you try, and I know there are options to do it online and self-study, but you've got to be a specific type of person, I think, and to be able to just sit down and go through that with the gravitas of having that much to study.
without having that person to bounce off and ask the questions and things like that. So, no.
I mean, you also got to remember there's other people in that classroom environment as well. And when you've got 7, 8, maybe even 10, 12 people bouncing ideas off each other, and the tutors coming in and saying, yeah, well done, that's brilliant, consider this. And they're going to remember it more. But you've got to be fairly regimented in your approach if you want to do it away from the classroom. But as you say, there are methods out there that can help a learner do it away from the classroom, because not everyone can have 2 weeks off work, or family life might not be conducive to that sort of thing. So a part of EOS's job is giving people different options. And once you get your qualification, those nerves you felt when you first saw that lever arch file dump in front of you are about half of what you get when you first walk into your first transport manager role. And I think course materials should also how to word it. They should also prepare the transport manager for what they've got to do, and giving real world scenarios. So we brought in what's called standard practice, just to give these transport manager qualified individuals an opportunity to see, look, this is what really happens in day-to-day life. Yeah. This is what we would suggest. Look, there's a roller brake test report. This is how you interrogate that. You've got an inspection document there, a PMI. You're going to interrogate. You can look at the last one and the one before that. So we're really going to town on giving these people the tools to do it properly, and ideally not end up in front of authorities or traffic commissioners. That's where we're aiming at.
Yeah, and that's the big worry of the new transport manager, isn't it? Is that they'll turn up to their first operators' offices. They'll have to introduce themselves and then try and get themselves acquainted with the way that company does business and keeps record. And not only have they got to try and get that operator on side, but they've also got to sound like they know what they're doing, and they're confident enough to get that operator on side. And then once they do, they've actually got to be able to put those systems and practices in place, like you say, to keep on the right side of the regulators. So, yeah. No, it is.
I mean, there aren't many industries that you're in where the drivers can really have an impact on your own qualification through no fault of your own. And we've got things like used cause, permit and incite, which constantly get rammed down transport managers' throat when they're in front of authorities. And even though they weren't directly involved in it, they should have been able to stop it. And there's all of this sort of stuff going on. And a good transport manager is often a driver that's decided to take that leg up and go for it, because they know the industry, they know everything about it, so they're perfectly positioned to go and do that transport manager role with a little bit of support. And mechanics as well, there's no better transport manager than an ex-driver or an ex-mechanic, or if you combine the two, you've got someone that's going to be awesome. But again, they're not always used to dealing with people, so it's, as you say, it's a tough one. It's a big move.
No, certainly is. So can you tell me about your journey into the training and how you wound up at EOS?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I started off milking cows for a living, and I went to a lovely college on the south of England called Plumpton, and had some really good years learning about agriculture and all the other bits and bobs. But then, thanks to, I'm not going to mention the name, but the Prime Minister at the time and his parliamentary vision of agriculture, I moved across to transport because it seemed quite logical, because of driving tractors, combines, all that sort of stuff. You should be all right with a Class 1 truck. And then I ended up in Formula One and did a few seasons there. World Rally fuel deliveries, exhibitions all over Europe. But the final, I think the big thing for me is I went for a training course with a company in Essex called Novadata. And Novadata were doing what's called a train the trainer. And the trainer that was delivering that gave me such inspiration to think, I wonder whether I could do that, whether I could sort of translate all this jargon and make it more understandable and make people remember it. And I got all the qualifications I needed for that. And then I met a chap called Mike Webber. And Mike Webber was, and I worked together for, I would say, probably 20 years ago, we started working together. And then he approached me to buy his company, which was EOS, from him in 2020. And then COVID happened, so that got delayed. But in 2021, I was able to take over EOS and drag it kicking and screaming into the current day and age. And I haven't really sat still or looked back since, to be honest with you, Leo. So, yeah.
What a journey.
Agriculture. Yeah. Agriculture
Formula One.
Yeah, that's it.
So was Mike Webber a type of sort of like mentor, would you say? Yeah. So you kind of already had your ambitions in the industry. You wanted to, like you say, be able to sort of like translate the jargon, as you say, to a more understandable, digestible language. That's
the word, yeah.
Like you say, for the... Well, it could be anyone entering the industry, and then Mike kind of just, like you say, helped you along the way.
And this is why I think every transport manager needs a guru, needs a support network. And there's, without going into too much detail, there's quite a few forums out there where people can go on and ask for help. But ordinarily, the response they're met with is not supportive. So to have the transport manager coach offering like a safe platform and maybe even offering a mentor to someone to support them in their first 6 months, or to go, no, try this. I tried this 15 years ago. It didn't work. It might work now. But to have a safe haven, I think, is essential, Leo, at the moment. There's enough rubbish going on in the world. We don't need to keep it within the industry as well.
100%. And that's our, like Darren and I's kind of whole wish for the transport manager coach, and what we're trying to do is just to have that place where you can bounce things off from one another, or just if you're a little bit unsure about something, you could go to your textbooks and go onto the internet and spend half an hour trying to do it, or trying to phone a friend, or you could just jump on an app on your phone, ask a question, not be worried about getting shot down or asked why have you got a CPC if you're asking questions like this or anything like that. Because like you say, one thing that may not have worked for an operator that you was working with 5 years ago, you might have an operator with a completely different outlook and professionalism that it would work with these guys. So it's that I love the mentorship model, and I think if you want to get anywhere in life, you find someone who's already doing it well, and you take them out for lunch, or you buy them a coffee, and you try, because they say you're what they say, you're part of like the 5 people you spend the most time with, or something like that. And so if we can create a community of like-minded people and all try and sort of like progress together, I think but Darren and I couldn't ask for anything else from that.
I think it's not what you know, it's who you know, half the battle these days as well, isn't
100%, 100%.
Yeah.
Did you know at the Transport Manager Coach that we can help you with your HGV and Transport Manager insurance? If not, feel free to contact us for more information.
You mentioned this, EOS has been going quite a while with Mike Webber there, and they do have an outstanding reputation. Like I said, I can't remember how many years ago it was that I did my CPC, but it was the EOS logo on the back of the lever arch file. How did you begin to separate and sort of like elevate yourselves from others in the industry? Like you say, you'd not to directly compare you to Nova Data or say anything about who's better than the other, but your reputation does precede you in a great way. So how did you kind of do that with yourself there now and Mike previously?
We had a really good benchmark to leap from, and good reputation is really, really tough to earn, and it takes a long time, but it goes in seconds. So any steps we made, we tried carefully to make sure that we put it in place in a supportive way, and making sure that the experience that our customers have was second to none, making sure that all the staff that work at EOS are educated, are able to support and able to be proactive in their approach towards customer service and the experience of the learner. I know there's lots of people out there doing course material, excuse me, and Are we better than anyone else? I don't think there's a platform which you can measure yourself on. But when people come back to you time after time, exam after exam, it's normally a good indication you're doing something right. But I just think it's imperative to be mindful of the bigger picture here. And the bigger picture is educating the future transport managers and making sure that the authorities have less to do with the ones based in England. And I can't speak for foreign operators, but the one thing I do know is that UK operators have really grabbed hold of compliance, and they're certainly doing the right thing or working towards the right thing now. And that's evident, Leo.
Yeah, it certainly is a lot more of a kind of a part of a business plan of any company, because without your operator's license, it's those one things that you can't run a business without. If you can't put the lorry on the road, then your business can't function. You might have other regulators in your industry, but the traffic commissioner and your operator's license is the one that is how you go out and earn your money or deliver your products and things like that. So it's sort of utmost importance. And
I mean, the main thing you got to remember, sorry to jump in on you, Leo, I mean, the people are scared of traffic commissioners, and they should be, because if you're in front of one, there's something gone seriously wrong somewhere. You may not be directly involved, but there is a chance you could have used, caused, permitted, or incited something to happen. But these traffic commissioners have got a job to do, and their job is to convince you that you really don't want to see them again, and they're very, very good at it. Very good at it.
Yeah, definitely.
But they are human beings as well. That's the good thing to remember.
Indeed. And so that leads me quite nicely off. So from your years of experience and talking to like countless students that have been through your doors, what do you find are the biggest challenges faced once the new transport managers pass their CPC? How can the ongoing support make a difference?
Well, I mean, the learning journey is tough, and as we've said earlier, once they get it, the brakes should not be taken off on continuing professional development. That the brakes should not be taken off their ability to keep digesting information. I mean, TMs have a lot of pressure on them all day. They're constantly on the phone. They're constantly answering emails. There's things they've got to do. There's gate checks. They're checking drivers are doing as they're told. But technology is advanced, and part of the transport manager's job is to understand what support network is out there for them, understand what technology is out there for them. But as I said already, a well-educated transport manager is a successful one. I mean, without pushing products and what have you, we have pushed out an app, and that app is there to allow transport managers to save time and search for information. You remember that lever arch file that you got when you did your manager CPC? Well, that's grown by 35-40% since then, Leo. But now with this app, it's like your course notes on steroids. You can bookmark, you can search, and it'll bring you up the module and tell you where to click and everything. So I suppose scrolling websites, not trusting certain things, reading things 4 or 5 times before you trust it. We're trying to make the transport manager understand how much their time is important, and by wasting it doom scrolling on Google looking for something, when you've got it all in one place, as I say, we're just trying to make sure transport managers have got the right information at their fingertips within that amount of time. A driver could ask them something, and if they have to put their phone down and go and do something, they're going to lose that driver's interest, and that driver's lost rapport with that transport manager. But to have it all at their fingertips there, that's what they're after. Yeah,
that's absolutely ideal. Like you say, just to have that information there, as you say, when they need it, as they need it, is well, it's just like anything in life. It's kind of what we've got used to as well, haven't they? They used to their Google, or now you got AI, and back in the day you had Arch. That's just the way the world's gone, and it's just if you don't keep up with the times, like you say, you may have lost out to other competitors. So to have that is a great thing to have. And I hadn't actually heard about it until Darren was telling me, and then I started looking in a little bit more into yourselves. And how does one get that? Is it by subscription? Sorry, or is it? So it's just literally an app that you download onto your phone and...
Yeah. I mean, you can either give us a shout at the office or email us, or you can go on the Apple App Store, Google Play as well. We're on there as well. But it's just something, just concentrating on the time that people spend trying to find information. And when you're looking at someone like a pilot needs a quick reference card. They haven't got time to search somewhere. They've got to know where it is, exactly how to achieve it. And a transport manager is on a similar level to a pilot with the amount of things they're juggling. It may not be up, down, left or right. It may be right or wrong, but there's still so many decisions. And as you said, Leo, time management is essential, really essential.
Yeah, completely. We had it in the, because I used to be a fireman, and we had it in the fire service. If you'd pulled up to a fire, a block of flats, the officer in charge would pull up on the console at the front in the front of the fire engine, the standard operating procedures for high rises, because you wanted to make sure that you was able to tick off everything that you needed to do and the job roles and everything that you needed to do for that, because you kind of know what you need to do, but there's lots that you'll forget about because there's a lot of other stuff you need to remember about. So to have that app on your phone, amazing.
I think human beings are forgetting machines as well. That's something we need to remember. And there's only so much space in there. When your cup's already full after a hard day's work and you've got to make a quick decision, you need that support tool. And like the fire brigade, pilots, ambulance workers, they all need that little nudge in the right direction, Leo.
Yeah, agreed.
Hi, were you aware at being part of the Transport Manager Coach platform that you now have access to the remote downloading software package that we can provide you? For more information, reach out to us.
So we at the Transport Manager Coach recently broadcast to our members very exciting news that we partnered with EOS to provide aftercare and CPD support. So excites you about this? Because I know Darren and I are just made up that we've managed to twist your arm and get you guys on board. It's when we started out, we knew that we wanted to we wanted to try and get support and partner with someone in the industry like yourselves, and with your reputation, you're always top of our wish list.
Bless you.
So what
excites us?
Continual learning. Yeah. What's
Well, I mean, we sort of alluded to the fact earlier, didn't we? We talked about a safe zone, but I mean, it's really important just to reiterate. I mean, TMs must have somewhere where they can go without being chastised, looking for advice. They can't know everything all the time. But this is why I'm really excited that EOS is joining forces with a safe haven like the Transport Manager Coach, to have that pool of support from recognised individuals that I've seen on there already. There's some really competent names on there that I've seen. I'm not going to mention any, but there's 3 or 4 people that I know and have worked with in the past that I know are perfectly placed to support newbies or people that have been out of the industry for a while. They've got this qualification. They think, I might need something. I'm going to go back into it again. Well, the Transport Manager Coach is essential for that because it's going to provide that safe haven. And I mean, anyone wasting their time searching through Google, searching through all these different AI tools, go straight to the people that are in it all day long. They're going to be the gurus. They're going to be the mentors that we talked about earlier. But just to capitalize on the fact that I think the partnership is going to create a safe and supportive space for transport managers. And that's where I think this is actually invaluable. And for our tools to be accessible as well, I think with the knowledge that your existing people have got on there already, combine that with our tools that are updated regularly. I mean, the app's updated live, the course notes are updated 4 times a week, the e-learning's updated live, the CPC Unplugged, the audio version is updated live, and combine that with that pool of essential working knowledge. You probably, I know you've got transport manager trainers on there as well. I've seen them. Yeah. And to have that untapped resource is going to be essential for someone to go, help, a driver's done this, what do I do? Within 5 minutes, one of your gurus is going to come on and say, right, slow down, pause, HR's a slow thing, just whoa, stop. I just think it's great just to put the brakes on, read, and then go back and deal with it.
Yeah, Yeah, completely. And it's because Darren and I, we're not saying that we would never try to say that. Oh, sorry, what's going on? But yeah, come to the Transport Manager Coach because Darren and I have the answers to all your questions. It's more a case of we have the community that can help you, and we're able to provide the tools that you may need to kind of be competent and flourish and do well and take your transport manager's qualification wherever you want it to go, and obviously try the best to make a great career from it. But yeah, just to hear you echo our thoughts as well. We've got some great people inside the community, and with your tools and our ongoing partnership and how we can provide CPD for these transport managers into their future throughout their careers is just it's just a great partnership. I'm just dead excited about it.
Yeah, I mean the thing with CPD is it can take quite a while, and if you're having to go out of the office for 2 days every 5 years for a refresher, then I think maybe an hour a week is a little bit more achievable, or maybe an hour a month, and then do the quiz at the end of the module. You get yourself a certificate, and then you've then got evidence to prove when it comes to an O license renewal that I have been keeping abreast of all these updates. Look, I'm on the EOS app, I'm on the Transport Manager Coach, I've got a wealth of support around me, and I'm reading the Guide to Maintaining Roadworthiness, I'm reading the statutory documents, I'm reading this. There's evidence. I'm not just sitting here doing my job, I'm also trying to better myself and make sure the company I'm looking after as the transport manager is compliant and up to date. And I think that's invaluable. To be linked in with the Transport Manager Coach, I think, is essential in any transport manager's journey to success or just day-to-day stuff, to be honest with you, Leo.
Indeed, yeah. And as for the external transport managers, it can be a bit of a lonely life as well. You're traveling on the road a lot. You're going into an operator, and they might just stick you in a corner because they're trying to run their business. And okay, you can go over there and ask me the old question, but to have that community to go back to and just chat about common interests because you're in the same industry is brilliant. I'm very conscious of the time, so I see the timer in the top right corner counting down. I don't want us to just get cut off and have it end like that. We've only got about a minute left.
Of course.
If I could just finish up, Chris, just to ask you, what is your message to anyone considering becoming a transport manager? Because we might have some drivers on here listening to it, some HGV drivers or some people in the office that might want to step up, just starting their journey.
Yeah, if they're just starting and they haven't done the course yet, I'd say RTFQ, read the flipping question. The devil's in the detail. Keep an eye out for red herrings and take your time, but listen to your tutor. The tutor's going to bring the best out in you, and have your fellow students support there as well. Have lots of breaks. Your brain's going to need it, really will need it, and don't commit to too much. The last thing you want to do is to resent that challenge you're about to take on. And all I'll say is good luck.
Oh, what a way to end the podcast. That is brilliant. Thank you very much, Chris.
Anytime, Leo.
Well, what a fantastic podcast with Chris, and what a fantastic guest. Guys, please go online, check out his company, EOS, and have a look at what they have to offer. There's so much for people in our industry. And I want to thank you guys again for listening to the Transport Manager Coach podcast. I hope the conversation gave you some ideas, encouragement, and maybe even a new perspective to bring into your journey. If you found value in this, share it with someone in the industry who would benefit. If you want to go deeper, join our school community where we connect, share resources, and help each other level up. So until next time, stay committed, stay inspired, and keep driving the industry forward. Thank you.